Okay guys, here with the most important part of the YATTO videos. This is for the artifact sequencer, arguably the best thing to be used by either veterans or new players alike to help you get an edge in this game. This is the artifact sequencer. You go to the sequencer through the YATTO website and you come over here. Before we get into this, just quickly, if you have any questions after this video, please either message me in Reddit on Fingers Fell Off, post a comment on the thread this is probably on, or check the YATTO frequently asked questions. Okay, so I just needed to get out of the way so I wouldn't forget. Basically, what the artifact sequencer is as it here, there are some very smart people smarter than me at this sort of technological stuff, figured out that the game pre-decides all the artifacts you'll get in a sequence, okay? And this is represented by a 4-digit number. In this case, 3935. So what the artifact sequencer does is it interprets this number to find out every artifact you'll get and in what order. So what we can do is, if we salvage certain artifacts and keep certain artifacts, we can tamper the sequence in such a way that we get the artifacts we want as early as possible within limits. I mean, if you have bad luck, it'll be a bit tougher to get them, but if you have great luck, you know, the random number generator gods are smiling on you, you will love this. So on the left, we check every artifact we own. Let's say I did 1 or 2 prestiges. I am very, very lucky. I have 3 tier 1 artifacts and then 1 dark cloak of life. Okay, you check them. That tells the calculator you own them. Then you put in priorities for the ones you want. So this guy is pretty smart about top titans. They've been reading the subreddit, reading our genius posts and threads, and they've checked out the artifact tier list. And so they're like, okay, I have most of the tier 1s. Now I want Drunken Hammer, and I want Hero's Thrust, and and I want Death Seeker. So in this case, I would actually put Drunken Hammer down a little bit because this combo is worth more than Drunken Hammer. But okay, you put in your priorities, and in the middle, this is another thing some people get wrong. This is what your sequence would look like without salvaging. Right now, if you start buying artifacts and buy all the ones that are left all the way to 29th and don't salvage at all, this is what it will look like. Okay, Drunken Hammer at 25th, bad for us. Death Seeker at 18th, bad for us. Here's Thrust at 8th, not bad for us, but we can make this even better. Then you come up here and you put in your artifact seed. There's a thread that tells you how to get these. For Android, there's a very easy way. You can find an app called File Save Viewer for Tap Titans or something similar to that, and it'll conveniently give you the weapon and artifact seed number. But if you were an unlucky sap who bought an Apple device, I'm sorry, no offense, this is a short tutorial that'll help you how to do it. It basically involves using iExplorer to go through your files and see it. Sorry guys. Then when you put your artifact seed in over here, I've made a totally random one up. It will be a 4-digit number. Then you go down here and put in your max diamonds. I think, especially if you're a beginning player, the most efficient use of your diamonds is on this and salvaging. So I personally put 0 when I played. Well, let's say this person has a restriction of 500 diamonds. Then we press start, and in an ideal situation we would let it run. I let it run like for an hour, but even 5 minutes would work. It just, the more time it has to calculate, the more sure I am that it's found the best sequence. So this sequence, here's the first thing that trips people up. What does this check mark mean? It means it's telling you to salvage that artifact. So the next artifact I buy will be a laborer's pendant, but I will salvage it, and then when I buy after that, I'll get a drunken hammer. Then I'll buy this after that, I'll salvage that, and then I'll get this, and then I'll buy this and salvage it, and then I'll get this. And that's how you go. And then you can just look at this and you can let it run. Something that is needed to be known is that if you do this, right? So I have 200 relics. I don't know how many artifacts it would let me buy, but these are all fake numbers. Let's say I bought this, boom, salvaged it. Bought Drunken Hammer, great. Salvaged Ring of Opulence, and then bought Parchment. And now I don't have enough relics to buy Sacred Scroll. Next day, I want to use the sequencer again to get the rest of the list or prioritize new artifacts. Now I'd be like, okay, gotta check mark Drunken Hammer because I own it, and I gotta check mark Oh dang it, I forgot the name. Let's just pretend I got Ogre's Gauntlet, okay? I checkmark that. And then people start pressing start and just hope that works. Problem is it's not gonna work. Your artifact seed has now changed. Every time you buy or salvage an artifact, it will have changed. So now what your artifact seed will actually be is like 6128. Okay? You can see how that makes a difference. So if you don't do that, then the sequencer will be wrong. It'll tell you you're gonna get Divine Chalice next, but no, that would be what you got if that was your artifact seed, but it's not. So with our correct artifact seed put in, then we can just start it again with priorities entered, and this is what you get. So I hope that explains to you how to use the artifact sequencer. God, sorry. And it's not, I don't think it's very difficult to do, but I figured I'd put it in the videos anyways, how to use a weapon sequencer. So you find your weapon seed, like I said, for Android, there's a convenient app. For iOS, you'll have to use this thread to figure it out. And then you put a number to calculate. It only lets you calculate up to 500, but I know there's a cool trick with the, I did it once, but I basically just looked at this guy's instructions. Something to do with more tools, developer tools, and you fiddle with that or something. I figure a lot of you are smart enough to do this, I'm just not. But it doesn't really matter because most people are not at 500 weapons, and a lot are never going to get there. So let's say we want to look at our first 100 weapons, right? We put in our seed, next 100 weapons, and what's very important is we put in the weapons we own. Just a seed isn't enough. It has to know what we own. And I'll say, oh, this could be very sad. You can't change this in any way. We can't tamper with this. The preset sequence is a preset sequence. And voila, this is every weapon you're going to get for the next 100 weapons in order. Um, the same with artifact seeds. If you get one, your weapon seed will change. So if I have the daily day dungeon, and it's the 5th dungeon, I'm gonna get a weapon. I know I'm gonna get Inquisirax, so then I just press checkmark next to it, and it'll change. That's pretty cool. If you don't press that checkmark, you'll have to manually change it and find your new seed. So I hope that I explained how to use the artifact sequencer and the weapon sequencer. And yeah, see ya.